say, well, they're not African, they're not from Africa. And that's, of course, those who are so-called African Americans, and they're in denial about this side because they've been trained to be ashamed of it, basically. That's because, you know, as children, the things we were taught.
Yeah, I was a Black American, an African descendant. But now I realize I'm just a lost child of Africa who made the return home.
Yes, and not only that, you know, we've been taught to believe that we're descendants of slaves. We are not descendants of slaves. We are descendants of free people, kings and queens. And
entrepreneurs,
yes,
farmers.
Yes.
All right, everybody, we are here on location, Accra, Ghana, wrapping up another Maximum Impact Travel tour, and we are glad to be able to share this experience with you. And I have three ladies who are a part of the four amigos, and the fourth amigo right now is occupied. And so we'll let them discuss that a little bit. But ladies, one, I want to thank you for joining me on this tour. And if you take a moment to introduce yourselves, I guess, Ingrid, we can start with you.
Hello, I'm Ingrid Briggs, originally from Charleston, South Carolina, but now I reside in Jonesboro, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'm from the Bronx, New York.
Hi, I'm Afia, and I'm here with the group.
All right, Afia, thank you for joining. I love it. All right, so tell me why you decided to come to Ghana and just a little bit about your individual experiences. And I guess the first step is, why did you decide to come to Ghana? And any one of you can kick it off.
Well, originally I had this trip planned for myself in March of 2021, but COVID came and you know the rest. So I was disappointed that I couldn't come, but then in a way it was a blessing, because one night I was surfing the net and I ran across Jay. And his itinerary almost matched the itinerary that I was going to do. And I said, I think I want to go with this man to Ghana. So I got on the phone and called some friends and family, and here we are today.
Oh, here they are today.
Here we are.
Anybody else?
For myself personally, because of COVID, I said I was not traveling until 2022 because I was frightened. But my cousin said, you know, take a look and see if you're interested. And once I discussed it with my doctors, and I was a little apprehensive, and they're like, why are you apprehensive? There's nothing wrong. Just go and enjoy yourself. And that gave me the okay. And I'm so glad I came, because it's just fabulous. You just have to do it.
I feel
Yes. Okay, for myself, I have been working on a bucket list of sorts, and to come to the continent of Africa has been on that list for many years now. I had the opportunity in 2010, but I wasn't physically able to make it. However, since I got the notice from a friend, I decided that this would be the perfect opportunity to travel. And so I jumped on board for that, because there were some answers I was seeking on my own over the years as to some beginnings of certain elements of our community and how all of this ties together. So I wanted to get more answers, and I have truly been able to form those answers together for myself and be able to feel really good about the information that I've received. And of course, I also have a personal goal to visit each continent in this world somewhere. So I'm at 4, I have 3 to go.
So you're at 4, now you have 3 more to go.
I have 4 continents I've visited, and I have 3 left.
Okay, now, you all have so eloquently explained everything, but they're playing this thing real cool. they are playing this thing so cool. If you only knew how But some of the nicknames, I've given them nicknames, the Four Amigos, and then you all formed this new group.
The shoppers.
The shoppers.
The shoppers.
Yes.
No, you gave us that name.
No, but I was only observant, and that's what.
But you did warn us that we have to have patience and to be able to haggle. But obviously we out-haggled the hagglers.
You did. That's the shoppers.
And not to mention the what was that? The Ghana 15.
The Ashanti
The
50.
Ashanti
Ashanti
15.
15.
The Ashanti
That's
15.
right.
Yes.
So this is the group with all the different names and all
Yes.
the different.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you know, I think I think for me it's always wonderful to have people. Now, who's been to the continent before?
None of
Neither.
us.
So this is their first time on the continent of Africa. This is their first African country. And
Yes.
so I want you to understand that this is not just, you all just didn't hop on a plane and come over here.
No.
You had a process to go through to do it, and
Exactly.
you did it. And so what do you think, or why do you think it's important for people to come?
First, like Jay said, it's a process. Don't think you can just go online and fill out the paperwork in about 2 weeks. It took us, the four of us, nearly
was a
30
month.
days, nearly 30 days to do it properly and the correct way. So if you decide you would like to take this trip, please be patient and follow the instruction that Jay is going to give you, because he will lead you through everything the proper way.
Jay is very transparent. I've been on many tours with many different groups, but his team, if you send a question via email, you get a response, a turnaround within less than 5 minutes. And I appreciate that, because money is a factor, but you still want someone to hold your hand while you're going through this process. And it's a long, tedious process, but it pays off in the end. It really pays off.
And so, piggybacking off of everything they said, the process of application and everything to get here, you also should have a curious mind to want to know how all of this can affect you back home, wherever home is, so that your interest should be piqued enough to want to know, to want to see for yourself, and not just believe what people show you, or what ads may show you, or what information that comes to you and is not inclusive and well-rounded. So, you know, I just encourage everyone to realize that this is Mother Earth. This is the original continent for life. So if that's not enough to pique your curiosity, then you know.
What did you say?
Say it right.
That's it. What did
Right.
you say?
So you know.
But with that said, what are some things that stood out to you when you came here? Because, you know, they tell us they don't like us. They tell us that we need to be afraid of everything. Did you feel any fear while you?
No fear.
No fear. We went to our doctors and we spoke to them, and they told us as far as what to do for preparation. And we followed the instructions, and like I said, the four of us came together and we talked about maybe once a week. We got on Zoom calls with Jay and we had our questions ready. And some of the questions that
did
we
they?
some of the questions that we
Yes.
didn't ask other members on the Zoom call, they asked them, and then we were just full of information and knowledge. So just follow what Jay says, and you know, everything will be okay.
Personally, for me, the commercials you see in America, those 2 a.m. commercials about people starving and not having homes and hungry, don't believe the hype. America is full of whatever.
Oh, she thought we didn't have to leave.
Right. You're right. Yes.
I felt safe. It's a wonderful country. Leave your American standards and your American thoughts on American soil. And when you set foot on the motherland, embrace it. That's it. Just embrace it. Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to add with that, it's like I'm a part of the return. My ancestors couldn't make the journey back. So I am the first in my family line that I'm aware of to make the return back. Jay has a great program. it involves movement to get an understanding of what the country offers and how all of this plays into the history that we're taught in schools in America.
Correction, not taught.
It plays into it, but we're not taught all of the history. It plays into it, but it's not all of it.
All right, now.
Correct. So therefore, that again, it's like you have to be in search of knowledge, in search of information for yourself, and not just believe what others tell you. But the way Jay has everything mapped out, you feel safe because you know you're with someone who cares about themselves and they care about themselves as well. So that spreads across the group. So the whole group has felt at ease and excited, and we've had serious discussions and laughter, and it's been a great thing. And I just want to say, Jay, you got a good thing going. And I encourage everybody who's interested to contact him and make that journey.
Well, I thank you, and I encourage you to do it too.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because when I first created the Ghana Chronicles, and I said in that video, I said I'm bringing people back. It wasn't just like some slogan that was put on video. It was like really, I meant that. And so for you all to be a part of it is like a manifestation of what was said in the video, and to see your experiences and how you take this back to your family.
Right.
It's like we're now chipping away at that wall that's been built, the walls of misinformation, of things we weren't taught in school.
Yes.
We're now able to come back in and challenge that. Why do you think, or let me ask you this, when people told you were coming to Africa, how was that received? Now you all are pretty strong with it, so you might have been able to just kind of check some of this stuff. Kind of feel you did say something, you'd be like, look.
Oh goodness, I was told, I asked, why would you want to go there? Can't you find someplace better? Yes, this is what I want to do. I've never been a history person because I never liked people and like seeing people in pain and suffering. So history was never my favorite subject, but until I came here and actually got the understanding about the pain and suffering, now I could appreciate it much more.
My friends, the few that I told, because like you said, I would check them and I don't want to be questioned about my decisions. But they wanted to come like, oh, I wish I could come, but they didn't have the time. So now I will definitely let them know this is the thing to do. I mean, it's an awakening, it's eye-opening, and when I get home, I mean, I'm not a researcher, but from every tour we took, as soon as that Wi-Fi was working, I had to, like some people were taking notes, some people were videotaping, but I just needed to know, like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that occurred, so there's so much history that's missing. So this fills the blanks. This fills in the blanks.
Which goes back to what I said earlier, that I was in search of information to fill some gaps of information I lacked. I love history. I appreciate history around the world, but I'm particularly interested in history of the transatlantic slave trade. And it was just some missing elements I could not put together based on what I know. And I know that things are changing in America in terms of trying to get the correct information out there or get good information out there to change it over to what the fantasy that they want us to believe.
Lies or more lies.
Lies and more lies. And so, so for me, my family has been very supportive. Enjoy yourself, have fun. We know you're gonna love this because you love outside, you like nature, and you like history. So you have no other choice but to enjoy yourself, have fun. No matter what.
As long as you weren't kidnapping a warlord that gets you.
Exactly. Exactly. None of that happened. You're good. Just come back home to us.
Exactly.
Yes. So.
And I would like to encourage everyone, if you're thinking about coming, if you're planning on coming, start putting that kitty aside. Save your money, because it's not a real expensive trip, and it's not a real cheap trip. But
we price it right in the middle.
For lack of a better word.
We intentionally price it right in the middle for you.
exactly, so
It's affordable.
It's affordable.
It is.
It's worth every penny, and all the tours and all the places that Jay's going to take you is well worth it. And I got the full understanding of the Kente cloth now that is made by men, all men,
Isn't that something?
and no women.
Isn't that something? I was waiting for
Men
you all to see
make
that too.
Kente cloth.
Yes.
Okay.
And do they make it? You see,
They make
Yes.
it
It's
with.
art.
Yes. And then the fact that we were told we were going to the Kente Factory to have the thoughts in your mind about a factory.
Yes.
And when you get there, you see that they're outside with a pot and
Yes.
a piece
It's-
of bamboo.
Right.
And then they're playing,
Exactly.
oh, it's just like, okay, this is how it goes. And they grow the dyes
Right,
themselves.
exactly.
So everything is like natural from the earth.
From the
And the
earth.
whole process is a beautiful process. But you really have to leave America at America and enjoy where you are and what's going on here. And you can
Yes.
appreciate what you're finding out.
Why do you think it's important for young people, say under the age of 21? Let's just kind of put that. Why do you think it's important for them to come?
To have an understanding of who they are and where they come from, and what's important to us in America. Once you come here, you realize it's not important. All the materialistic things, the trappings that we hold on to, it's not necessary for happiness. So I think that may have them see a different way of living.
Okay. What do you say to the people who say, well, they're not African, they're not from Africa? And that's, of course, those who are so-called African Americans, and they're in denial about this side because they've been trained to be ashamed of it, basically. That's because, as children, the things we were taught.
Yeah, I was a black American, an African descendant. But now I realize I'm just a lost child of Africa who made the return home.
Yes, and not only that, we've been taught to believe that we're descendants of slaves. We are not descendants of slaves. We are descendants of free people, kings and queens. And
Entrepreneurs, farmers.
Yes, everything that we think and we take for granted basically had its start here, from the people here. And it's just been abused and misused. So I'm like, hey, what more can you ask for except knowledge? If you don't want knowledge, put it in a book. Who's going to open it up and read it? So this is like being in a book, and now you just have to take the time to open it up and read it. But you hide it, put it in a book. Open those books, those young kids, and read and open your mind.
But that's one of the reasons why I wrote the Adventures of Darren and Destiny children's book series, because I wanted them to get this information young. From the age of 4 to 10, they have a resource to be able to educate them and see. They actually walked in the footsteps that you walked in, same places and everything. And I'm gonna ask you this: what stuck out to you the most about the slave dungeons that we visited?
Well, so many things.
Well, the fact that I did not become emotional, that, a lot of people say, when you go there, you just get so full of emotions, and you just, can't take it and you don't want to be around all that. But I took it a whole different direction. I tried to put myself in the place of those who were there and how strong they were to come out on the other side of it. Because if they did not, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
So that was a lot of strength to endure that. The description of what they showed us in those caves, the conditions of filth that they allow human beings to live in, and it is enough to make you mad. I know a lot of people don't like to watch that kind of stuff or hear about that kind of stuff because you get mad. But you have more than two emotions.
Yes.
So you need to try to look at some of those other emotions outside of being mad all the time or being upset all the time. There are many of them. There's despair. There is, awe. There's shock. So there's some other ones to tap into, and you get to those. You can get past that anger, and you can open your mind.
And sometimes it's motivation.
Yes,
Exactly.
definitely motivation.
Right.
Definitely.
Exactly. So hey, you know.
Why were we treated so horribly back then and right now because of the color of our skin? It happened well over 100 years ago. And right now today we're going through the same thing. So why are people so hateful? What brought this on? That's bothered me today. Why?
And that's what you realize, just kind of reinforce that about
Yes.
going to the dungeon.
Exactly, right, the dungeon.
For me, it's the religious part. I've always been spiritual and I'm a church-going person, but to see how they twisted the Bible for their own gain and made it such that you're better than me because of the color of your skin, and my life has no value. What gives you the right, the audacity, the authority? We were functioning well before you even set foot on this continent. So that's something I'm still trying to work out.
A lot of people run into that challenge.
Yes, we're taught one thing, and then when you hear another side.
Break down what we were taught in the other side of what
Well, I'm not even going into the white Jesus part. So for those who
you'll be walking down that road.
yeah, for those who watch Good Times and Black Jesus is among us.
You didn't go to the Good Times.
Yes, Black Jesus is among us.
Like, oh, she went there.
And if you read it, and you will see how are you bronze with woolly hair, but every picture you see is alabaster and silky hair. How does that work? And how do you fall and follow into that?
Well, we have fallen into it. You see it all around West Africa. Everywhere
Yes,
you go, you look up and you're like, what's happening here? But in America, it's still happening in America.
Yeah, yes, it still is.
But say 40, 50 years ago, it was that same thing and nobody questioned it. Or some people did, because even that episode of Good Times was the late 70s.
Yes.
So you talk about 40 years ago, this conversation was happening, but it was all over the place. And it still is in America. So what do you think someone might possibly do with that?
I guess it's an individual thing, and how do you tell someone what to believe?
Right.
How do you back it up, unless they actually take a trip to see for themselves? Because me telling you the sky is blue, you might not believe it, even though it is blue, and there's scientific fact to back it. It's an individual thing because brainwashed, the way we're taught, the rule where we just still follow, instead of leading and making our own destiny.
No, I understand everything you're saying, because I think that's one of the things that resonated with me when I first came here and I started seeing all of these different images and realizing that something went wrong in the way the story was told.
How are you a proud African person, and you know where you come from, and you know the traditions and the culture you follow, and then there's white Jesus on the wall.
Right? But it goes. You know what it is? It's proof of what happened.
Yes.
So it's because some people are now even trying to say that the slave trade didn't happen. They're trying. There are people out here who are trying to say that it's all a lie. And I'm talking about black people.
Yes.
Are out saying
Yes,
that it
I
didn't
believe
happen.
that.
But when you come here and see it for yourself, then you have to wonder to yourself, well, what happened?
What happened,
because
right?
you see these places and you see the evidence even in the people who are here.
Right.
So it's and not to mention us, we see it. What do you think? Let's say someone over the age of 55, 60, somewhere around. Why do you think they should come?
Maybe you want to go 60, 70.
Let's go 67.
Right, because I'm in that 55.
And
I'm here.
I am too.
So we're here.
So let's take it up 60, 70. Why do you think they should come?
because there was so much information out there for me that I was missing that I would have never, ever known if I didn't come for myself and see it. So I'm glad that I came, and I am coming back. I'm going to try to get back maybe by November, but if it's not this year, I am definitely coming back next year.
I think our elder family members, they're from a different generation of towing the line, not making waves, just going. As long as I work hard, I should be able to get whatever material trappings I need.
Whatever Massa allowed me to get, I'll be able to get it, and Massa allowed me to get it now. I feel it to myself, but I have to do what Massa say do. I was going to be a good servant, because Massa said.
I'm about to say it, Massa.
I told you, they real
Be
chill.
polite.
They be a real chill with this. But it's
Rhymes
real.
with glass. Okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, they don't want to make waves. I'm of a generation, we might ripple, but the newer generation, they turning over tables, so they should really be here.
Wow, that's an interesting thought, because especially for those who are of the newer generations.
Yes.
And if they get it, then they can go back and make certain adjustments that say we didn't know to make. There were certain
Yes.
things we didn't know to do. We didn't know to be inspired by, because every time we saw television, it was either someone was in bondage, so we didn't want to be associated with being a slave, because we were like, oh man, how did
I made it. Well, I'm not a slave.
right? Well, I'm not a slave, and
But we still are slaves. To the
Explain.
money,
Okay, we'll break it down.
to the materialism, to the styles. I mean, I have my moments, but then being here, it's like, I don't need half the stuff I have. No television. I don't really need a phone, except for, I made 2 or 3 phone calls.
Okay.
So we're spoiled, point blank period.
I'm very spoiled.
Y'all using like trigger words. Folks out there getting mad now.
Right.
We're Americans and we're spoiled and entitled.
Right.
I'm glad you said that. Because, they come for me. Somebody was like, you disparaging your own people. I'm not
I'm not disparaging Black America, white America, red America, blue America. America. We are spoiled and entitled. And it shows we have no patience.
Oh, wow.
And it's evident when we come here and things don't move the way we want it to move. Signing off.
I'm just sitting there listening.
And
Fly on the wall.
Jay told us prior to coming on this trip to pack our patience. And believe me, he was correct.
Get a trunk full.
Get a trunk full. Bring it in a wheelbarrow.
For some people, it's going to be a deliverance for them to be able to pack
Exactly.
the patience.
Pack your patience. Thank you for listening.
They got public service announcements and everything. Well, I want to first thank you for being on this tour, because every tour I do, I meet some of the most wonderful people I would probably never meet in America. We probably would have never crossed paths,
Never.
even though you're from
Never.
the low country,
Yes.
even though from
Your low country, I know Maryland.
right. See, and we
So-
probably still wouldn't have crossed paths.
Never.
Probably wouldn't have never.
But now, by way of this experience, we're bridging the gap, and we're able to always share in this time, because it's like, who knows who you all will touch and reach?
Exactly.
Who knows who this video will reach? Who
Right.
knows, just from people hearing your story and your accounts, who knows how that's going to affect
Right.
them? And someone may watch this and say, okay, I'm going on the tour next time
Yes.
because I heard what they said.
Right.
I need to go. Someone might be in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We even had someone almost 90 come on the first tour we did. I think he's 91 now, 91, 92 now. And so we want people to have these experiences, not just because it's a tour, but because you begin to understand the realities of the things that we weren't taught. So in closing, any final words of encouragement for those who are watching?
Yes, please try to make this trip, whether it's this year or next year. And just like I had mentioned earlier, start saving your money, because believe me, You're not going to miss it after you come home and return. Come here and return. You're not going to miss it. I have spent some money, but every dime I spent, I don't care because it was well spent money. Thank you.
Oh, she's giving the public service. Do you know how to talk Gullah Geechee?
No, I do not, but
We understand it.
I was going to ask you to speak some Geechee over here.
no, I do not.
Because y'all can hear the accent a little bit. As soon as she was talking, I said, wait, where you from? So,
I've been hearing that since I've been a child, through high school, college, and today. As soon as I start talking, you a Geechee. Are you from Charleston? I'm from Charleston, but I'm not a Geechee.
Charleston.
You Geechee? My mama? Yeah. My mama's a Geechee.
See that?
See, well,
See that now?
okay. I mean,
have you done
if you
your
think
African ancestry yet?
no, I have not.
You should do your African ancestry on your mother's line. That's the only line you can do.
Right.
Okay.
Do African ancestry on your mother's line and see where it comes back.
Okay.
So we're first cousins. So
Same?
yeah, our mothers are sisters.
Oh, then you can do it too.
Right.
So either one of you, it'll come back the same way. And do African ancestry. Not ancestry, not 23andMe,
Not
not my heritage. Do African ancestry, your mother's line. Either one of you.
Yeah, I think we might be Sierra Leone.
Isn't that something?
By way of the Caribbean.
Well, have you done African ancestry?
No, I just figure going to the Caribbean islands, and a lot of people ask where you from.
Yeah, but do that test.
I will.
Let's confirm.
Yeah, see, so that $300 that's going to go for a pair of sneakers.
They put it on that because what it did for me was I did it. I was born in Charleston.
Don't you dare.
I was born in McClellan Banks, now Roper Hospital, and my African ancestry came back, Timberlake tribe, Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And it was a direct trade route from Freetown to Charleston. It was a direct route. So that
Freetown and Sierra Leone.
Freetown, Sierra Leone to Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
And that's why they call them sister cities. So they're trying to bridge the gap between those cities now. So the mayor of Freetown is, Mayor Sawyer is going to be coming to Charleston when they open the new African American Museum because they're looking to bridge that gap. So let's just see.
We might be
We
kinfolk.
might be.
We might be.
We might
Right.
be.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. These are connections. You just don't know how all of this comes out. But I would love to see what your African ancestry came in. And if you are Sierra Leonean, you would qualify for citizenship because of that African ancestry test. And so if you can prove it, and the only one they accept is African ancestry.
Wow.
Be on it.
That's how I
Okay.
got my dual citizenship. Because
Really?
yes. You didn't also dual citizenship?
Yes.
I mean, you mentioned it several times, but it didn't.
It didn't,
Click,
it
click.
didn't,
No.
it didn't register. Hold
Right.
on. Wait.
Okay.
Don't
Hold on.
look.
Now I'm not doing nothing crazy.
Look,
down
now
here.
he's showing off, folks.
I gotta show. I gotta show off.
Like we playing spades.
Wow.
Dual citizenship. Okay.
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone. Okay.
And it's 10 years as well.
This one is 5 years, I think. And is that my face in it?
Yeah.
That's you.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me. And so the Republic of Sierra Leone. So I was born in South Carolina, USA, but my nationality is Sierra Leone. Now, of course, I'm a dual citizen USA, so you don't have to
Right.
give up your
American.
citizenship. Yeah. But I think that would be really cool if you did. So
Will
so
do.
let me know the update, and then we'll if it comes back Sierra Leone, we can do a follow-up on this video and bring
Yes.
everybody in.
And I just heard something today on the news that it's taken anywhere from 6 months to 10 months to renew your visa. So
Passport.
I'm sorry, passport. So if your passport is coming close to renewal, please start now, because 10 months is a long time to wait.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now. Like, I'm going in 2022, and they're putting off that passport. Go ahead and apply now. Take the children now. The children should have passports. You should have passports.
You should have passports regardless.
Regardless.
Get your passport now. Better to have it and not need it than need it and don't have it.
Now you got to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Make sure you check out MaximumImpactTravel.com. Also, make sure that you like, subscribe, share this video, and be sure to join us on a Maximum Impact Travel tour here on the continent of Africa. Right now, we're in Accra, the capital of Ghana, and we would love to see you somewhere on the continent of Africa once again. Until next time, take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari, and from there we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on our children's level so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.